Indianapolis.
Yes, sir.
Let's freaking go. Jesse Parker and I just got here ready for the Indianapolis Regional Championships.
Yeah.
Gonna be my third regional of the season after taking a complete year off for the 2025 season. Jesse, what you feeling today, man? What's the deck for the weekend?
The big Haunch Crow. Team Rocket's Haunch Crow. Yes, that's the deck to play. You beat everything that isn't Arboliva. Yeah, pretty much it.
Even the Dragapult? You beat the Dragapult,
Yeah,
dude?
man, you beat Dragapult. You're a fast, aggressive deck. You just start taking KOs. You know, the Murkrow can KO Bidoof for 30 damage, and then you just one-shot Dragapults, and it's over. And they can't spread because of your Articuno. So, yeah, free.
I'm pretty sure I'm playing Dragapult, but with Jesse talking like that, I mean, I've got most of my Haunch supplies with me that I picked up at Full Grip Games this morning. Hashtag sponsored, hashtag shop at Full Grip Games, because it helps to support the content that I create on this channel. I stopped by Full Grip in the morning to pick up the Haunch cards that I need if I decide to audible to Haunch in the last moments. But the whole drive here, I was testing Dragapult Blaziken and Raging Bolt EX. Those were like the two decks that I was highly considering, and the two decks that I probably have the most reps with. I think I'm off Raging Bolt, and I'm just trying to figure out what variation of Dragapult I want to play. Every time I start to have a little bit of whimsy in my heart, and I start to think about wanting to play some other deck in standard format, I just get beat back into submission and keep coming back to the same conclusion that I really ought to just play Dragapult. We just saw, what, Dragapult won like 3...
Dragapult Hammers won like the last 2 majors, so.
And yeah. It was a Dragapult finals.
It was.
Yeah.
So Dragapult's just dominating everywhere.
And it seems like it's just the best card pool to work with. Dracloak's Recon Directive, Dragapult's Attack. You can play it any which way you want. You could put Dusknoir in there. You could put Dudunsparce in there. You could put Hammers in there. You could put Blaziken in there. So that's the deck that I'm thinking about playing. But it's the Friday night before the event, and I should probably lock it in. I'm just kind of having trouble committing right now, even though I've done a lot of testing for this format. I mean, Jesse and I have been doing our streams for over a month, probably a couple months now, to get ready for this format. It still doesn't feel like
it never
enough.
feels like enough game.
Yeah.
It never does. You guys got to pick something and just go with it, you know?
Just got to run it. One of my biggest hesitations to play Dragapult is it just feels like it is going to be the deck that everybody wants to beat. Everybody is going to have a lot of reps against it. It's probably the deck you test against the most. It's the deck you play against on the ladder the most, and nobody wants to take an L to Dragapult. So actually sleeving it up and committing to play with it feels like a risk in of itself, because even if everybody else is playing with a worse card pool, they still have things in their decks that are trying to just destroy your strategy. So it's tough. Everybody is teched for you. Everybody is trying to beat you if you're playing Dragapult. It is a tough pill to swallow.
On the other hand, it's got a really nice even matchup spread across the board, really. I mean, even the decks that say they beat Dragapult in reality are probably just like 50-50 to it at best. So honestly, like a good player piloting Dragapult, it's about like, I think as good of a chance you're gonna have at winning a tournament, to be honest with you.
And that's kind of the conclusion that I keep coming to, is if I want to leverage my ability to route a matchup, then I ought to be playing Dragapult, because I have a lot of decision making and I have a lot of agency over how the game goes. Sometimes, I mean, sometimes you just get item locked, you know, going first, and there's not much to be done. But a lot of times you have agency, which is nice, and at least makes the losses feel better when you're losing. The allure of Honchkrow is definitely there. I mean, Jesse has been preaching Honchkrow for months now, And then Joshua Zapdos TCG, top 4 to regional team. That'd be a terrible place to work.
Holy
What the hell? Joshua Zapdos TCG, just top 4 to regional championship with Honchkrow. After finishing the top 32 of a regional championship with Honchkrow, then Azul took it to Melbourne, and he was able to top 32 with it, had a pretty good run. And honestly, one of my biggest beefs with the Honchkrow deck is that you can whiff things, and it can be a little inconsistent, but it's a deck that takes real big knockouts, and in a best of 3, you get to kind of shake one of those whiffs off, right? If you just win the other 2, then you're fine.
It's okay if you whiff, because you're only giving up 1 prize at a time. So you just gotta not whiff multiple turns in a row.
Right.
Yeah. But you can whiff like once every now and then.
Right. So at the venue, I'll probably try to find myself a Miracle headset, because that's the only card I don't have right now for the Haunch if I want to play it. If I'm playing Honchkrow to the event, pray for me. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. If I'm playing Haunch, just pray for me, all right? So I'm thinking, it's been like 10 minutes. You know, I had some time to think. My only hesitation with Honchkrow is that it can't consistently beat Dragapult. If that's true, I will not play Honchkrow. But if a well-piloted Honchkrow with maybe a little bit of luck can beat Dragapult, then maybe I should just play Honchkrow. So I'm thinking that Jesse and I should play a best of 3. And if Jesse beats me playing Dragapult with the Honchkrow, then I'll play Honchkrow. But if I win against Honchkrow with Dragapult, then I'm playing Dragapult.
Wish me luck, Honchers.
And that's just how the decision's gonna get made. I mean, how else should I make the decision?
Keep 2-0, and then we're gonna roll up with Haunch.
And then we're gonna roll up with the Haunch.
Yourself a Miracle headset.
Just, that's what I'm saying. So it's just that easy, right? Best of 3 decides it.
That's simple.
It has been decided after a rocky start and getting absolutely smoked in game 1. Came back from the trenches in game 2 and won a quick game 3. So I am playing Dragapult tomorrow with Dusknoir, which actually is my favorite way to play it. So I think I'm okay with that. I'm a little bit nervous about Hammerpult, but I think at a certain point you have to just say they'll flip tails, right? How you doing? Got the win round 1, barely. Played against Starmie, Frostlass, Monkey Dory, and games 1 and 2 were just so sketchy. I mean, I already halfway through game 1 had started thinking about dropping from the event after going 0-2 and driving home. Like, that's how bad game 1 was. I just got absolutely smoked. You know what it's like if you start out slow versus Mega Starmie. They just run you over. Game 1, I only had 1 Dracloak, and it came into play like turn 3, going second against Mega Starmie. Yeah, I just got absolutely annihilated. They were able to set up Frostlass, which spreads damage to Pokemon with abilities, and then they also had Starmie and Monkey Dory. They had the whole shebang. So they got that all set up, smoked my only Dracloak, and then I was like, all right, game 2, it's gonna go better. I'm gonna get multiple Dracloak into play. I'm gonna choose to go first. Went first game 2. Again, it's 1 Dracloak. That's all I have. And my opponent has a turn where if they can just find water energy for their Mega Starmie, they will snipe and knock out my only Dracloak. The series will certainly be over, but they miss the water energy. So I live. And then I'm able to evolve into Dragapult and swing the entire game in my favor. So an extremely volatile game. I mean, just like as close as it gets. And game 3 starts with just 20 minutes remaining. My opponent chooses to go first again. They set up their board pretty strong going first, but I'm able to finally get a turn 1 lilies going second and set up pretty good. Turn 1 item lock, and the turn 1 item lock proves to be very good as my opponent has to get rid of a bunch of items with a Carmine, and they just have trouble setting up. We're item locking each other, but they open Badoo, so my Badoo ends up knocking out his Badoo, and I'm able to just snowball the match from there. Dragapult, Dusknoir, as soon as the item lock breaks, it's lights out, and I win the set. So yeah, I mean, that was close. I was proud of myself for kind of sticking in there, even though I was down game 1 and things were looking bleak in game 2. I'm proud of how the deck functioned, and I'm feeling good. You know, I'm here to play some Pokemon, here to have some fun, and things are looking up. Round 2 against Alakazam. Unfortunately, I tied, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. It was a really close game 1. Game 1 was sketch. My opponent plays Psyduck and Rabsca and Genesect. So they have all of the tools and pieces necessary to completely stop my deck from doing what it needs to do. That all is pretty tough. And I'm not playing Judge in my list. I think if I play Judge in my list, I probably win. I wasn't really respecting Alakazam too much with my list, and it showed. Game 1, I take the first knockout with Dragapult and place 5 damage counters on my opponent's Psyduck with the hope to use Monkey Dory to move 2 damage counters over to it to finish it off so that I can blow something up the following turn. But I prized one of my Risky Ruins. So I only have 1 Risky Ruins in deck, and it's gonna be kind of tough to pull off. My opponent responds to my Dragapult with an Alakazam, 1-hit knockout, while also establishing Genesect with an Air Balloon. I have a pretty big hand, but I do not have the Stadium. I haven't been able to find it yet. I prized one, and I need it. I need Monkey, Dark, Stadium, and I'd like Unfair Stamp. I've got a Dusknoir ready to go on my bench. I've got a Dragapult ready to go in the active spots, but my opponent has the Psyduck and the Genesect, so it is tough. I also prized one of my Darks, so I only have 1 Darkness Energy and 1 Risky Ruins in the deck. I have nothing in my hand, so I have to just Lilies for 6, hoping that I draw the absolute nuts. And I do. I hit Ultra Ball for Monkey Dory, I hit my 1 of Darkness Energy, I hit my 1 of Risky Ruins, and I hit the Unfair Stamp. 4 out of 6 cards. I hit everything. It was nuts. So I was able to bench my Monkey Dory with the Risky Ruins, attach the Darkness Energy to it, move the 2 damage counters to the Psyduck, knock it out, use Dusknoir to blow up my opponent's Genesect, then Unfair Stamp my opponent to 2, and wipe with Dragapult. It was nuts. It was exactly the kind of thing that makes Dusknoir Dragapult a nasty deck. So I won that game. And then game 2, my opponent went first and got turn 2 Psyduck Rabsca. And I didn't even know that my opponent played the Rabsca. I didn't see it in game 1. But game 1 took like almost 30 minutes. So I'm like in game 2, and I'm thinking to myself like, okay, I can either like scoop game 2 immediately, right? And go to game 3 with maybe 20 minutes left on the clock. Or I can like see how game 2 is going, and honestly, game 2 was going fine. I'm able to Unfair Stamp my opponent as they don't get Genesect set up, and I knock out my opponent's Psyduck in the same turn. So I go like Boss Psyduck, Unfair Stamp. That's pretty much like exactly what you want to do when they've got Rabsca and Psyduck set up. Like they can't do Rabsca, Psyduck, and Genesect. Their bench would be clogged with too much crap if they did that. And my opponent draws the Lana's Aid, reestablishes Psyduck, and has a really good turn off the Unfair Stamp. While reestablishing Psyduck, they're still able to swing for like 160. I just didn't have enough momentum to put that game away. The Unfair Stamp didn't disrupt my opponent enough. And then going into game 3, we only had like 5 minutes. There was really
no chance of it concluding. So I took a little bit of a risk playing out game 2 maybe longer than I should have. In game 3, like, I go first, but my opponent's able to get out the side duck again. They didn't prize it, so who knows how game 3 would have ended up. With all those techs in my opponent's deck, it was really going to be tough to beat. I definitely would have had to play, I think, a judge in addition to the unfair stamp to have a decent matchup against Alakazam.
Tough one. Round 3, played a Dragapult Mirror, played against Brad Curcio, who is a top player from like back in the day. He was getting back into the game. He was very prominent, like 2016, 2019, multiple time world competitor, just you know, regional champion. Really good player. And I did not have a good game 1, and game 2 he was the first player to get boss's orders with Dragapult on my Dracloak. Yeah, I mean, game 1 I didn't even get a Dreepy out, right? Like he goes first, establishes a very good board. I go second, play Lilies to 8, no Buddy Buddy, no Pokepad, no Dreepy, pass. And then I'm item locked until he decides to Phantom Dive, and the game is just over, right? And Pulp Mirrors go like that sometimes. And then game 2 gets sus quick because he gets that first boss's orders with a Dragapult on my bench Dracloak. I have to try to confuse off an unfair stamp. I mean, that's basically the only play I have, because I whiff Pult. I find Crispin, but I whiff Pult in order to return with a Phantom Dive. So I end up having to make this play where I go Monkey Dory and try to confuse him. So he's got this confused Dragapult in the active, and like, I'm in a pretty good spot if he flips tails on the confusion flip. Flips a hammer, it's tails. Flips on Phantom Dive confusion, it's heads. Takes a double knockout, and it's like over from that point. There's really nothing to be done. It just got ugly really fast. So yeah, tough one there. I mean, Brad's a really good player, so and it is what it is. It's tough. Yeah, I like this deck. This is my favorite way to play Dragapults. I am not upset with like the deck choice at 1-1-1, but it's tough, right? It's tough. Had a great set in round 4, played against Hydrapple, and it was just super close, both games. I won 2-0, and it was really good. At this point in the tournament, going into round 4, 1-1-1, not exactly sure which direction my deck is gonna go. Is it going to perform? Am I going to feel justified running the Dusknoir and stuff like that? And honestly, playing against Hydrapple, I felt very good having the Dragapult Dusknoir build. Dusknoir and Blood Moon were both super clutch in this set. Game 1, I have my opponent on the ropes because he opens Tapu Bulu, and I am just using Badoo to item lock going second. They have a lot of trouble setting up under item lock. Eventually, I use Dusknoir to blow up the Tapu Bulu and kind of invite up a Teal Mask, and my opponent uses Teal Mask, knocks out my Badoo, and then I am able to unfair stamp them, knock out the Teal Mask, spread a lot of damage, and I'm feeling really confident about that play. But my opponent responds with their own unfair stamp, and then is able to establish a Hydrapple out of nowhere and knocks out my Dragapults, which was like not something that I had planned, right? I'm like, I'm gonna unfair stamp, no Hydrapple on board, nothing, I'm feeling good. And then they stamp me to take the knockout with a Hydrapple that did not exist the turn previous. And all of a sudden this game is like super sketch. I can win if I am able to find Rare Candy, Night Stretcher, Boss's Orders. Because I can use Rare Candy, Night Stretcher to go Dusknoir, blow up the Meganium, Boss's Orders, Blood Moon, knock out a Teal Mask for game. I have Rare Candy Ultra Ball in hand off the stamp. Fez, draw 3, and I find Boss's Orders off the 3, and then I've got 1 Recon Directive. If I find the Night Stretcher,
Then I win, and I find the Night Stretcher off the Recon Directive, Rare Candy Dusknoir, Boss, Blood Moon for game. Crazy game. The unfair stamps back and forth was absolutely nuts. Game 2, my opponent just starts Teal Mask Pass. I set up really strong, but my opponent eventually gets another Teal Mask, and by the time I bring up Dragon Ball to take a knockout, they also unfair stamp me, obviously. Like, again, it left me in a sketchy spot because then I had to, off unfair stamp, like respond to this big Teal Mask. Blood Moon was the guy that was able to clear that 5 energy Teal Mask, which is something I desperately needed because he was able to heal the 10 damage ping with a Hydrapple that he had set up, right? But off the unfair stamp, I then unfair stamped him back. So it was like back-to-back games, back-to-back unfair stamps. I unfair stamped him back, took the knockout with Blood Moon, and off of that, he was not able to return KO my Blood Moon, which would have been game for him. So I was able to just retreat into Badoo and buy a turn, thanks to Latias, pivot my Blood Moon out of there, and then I had Boss for game the following turn. So it was crazy. Blood Moon like worked overtime in that set, knocking out Teal Masks. It was very good at doing that. The Latias was also super useful to move the Blood Moon out of harm's way, because in game 2, Blood Moon went for 4 prizes. So yeah, felt good. It felt good. The cards in the deck felt good, felt like they belonged there. And that's a pretty sus matchup, honestly, Hydrapple. But I think the Dusknoir gives you play into your bad matchups like that. It's exactly why I'm playing it today. Just finished round, what round was it?
Round 4. No.
Round 5.
5, yes.
Okay, what's the rec?
My record is 4-1.
You're a beast.
Yes, with the Haunch.
Man.
I beat one of my hardest matchups, which makes me feel really good. I beat Arboliva, which I think is the hardest matchup for the deck. And then I beat a Haunch Mirror.
You're a beast.
Really exhilarating. You just keep using Archer and hope that your opponent whiffs. And that's the all you can do. And it puts a strain on your resources though, because you gotta take 6 single prize KOs.
Right.
You have 8 energy. So you have to really make sure you're, not wasting any energy, not wasting your Night Stretchers. You can't prize too many Pokemon. So it's a little stressful, but I was able to 2-0, so that was sweet.
Dang,
I just
dude.
drew way better than him, so.
Dang, dude.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I just won that last one, so I'm 3-1-1 now.
Okay, so
climbing out from the...
Not as good as 4-1.
No, it's not.
But it's a long day. It's a long day.
I'm really happy with how the last round went because I was able to 2-0 a Dragapult Mirror.
Nice.
Game 1, I go first. My opponent goes second and doesn't get a Badoo, but only has like a couple Dreepy and a chicken.
Sure.
And says pass. And then I go turn 2 item lock. They go Jerkloak, pass. And then I go turn 3, Dusknoir, Night Stretcher, Dusclops, board wipe. 3 prizes, I win.
Double Dusclops or Dusknoir Dusclops?
Dusknoir, Dusclops.
Oh my gosh.
With a Phantom Dive.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So you just board wiped it.
Yes, 3 prizes. There were only 3 Pokemon in play. Just board wipe, win.
Dude.
And I was like, oh yeah, let's go,
Lights
let's
out.
go. That's lit. I'm up game 1. I'm feeling good. I go first because my opponent's choosing second. So I go first and I'm able to go double Dreepy. My opponent sets up very well and is item locking me though. And I was not able to get the Badoo kind of going. So I'm just like evolving into Jerkloaks and kind of like doing my thing. And my opponent's item locked me, building up like a very ferocious board. They've got Rare Katie Blaziken. They've got multiple 2 Monkey. They've got 2 Jerkloak, a Dragapult. It's looking nasty. So because my opponent's board is so intimidating, I'm like, I'm just gonna expedite things. I don't have the Phantom Dive. I literally go in to kill the Badoo with the just Dragapult 1 energy. Because I'm like, I need to protect my energy because I didn't have like extra energy on board. So I'm like, I need to protect this energy on the Dragapult.
Fine. Yeah, Jet Headbutt's fine.
So I go in, Jet Headbutt, right? And my opponent has like Boss, Knockout, Double Jerkloak, right? So then I am like, okay, unfair stamp, Boss up the Blaziken. They have 1 energy in the discard pile.
It has no energy on it.
No energy on it.
All right.
Boss up the Blaziken, and I'm like, okay, it either sticks and I win, or it doesn't stick and I lose.
It's stuck.
It's stuck.
Let's go,
stuck,
dude.
baby. It's stuck. Yes.
That's what you gotta go for. Is gust up that stinky Blaziken and just hit it, bro.
And I Phantom Dived, and then was able to take a 3 prize turn the following turn after he whiffed the energy to retreat the Blaziken, and then from there it was just a rout. Like, yeah.
Dang. Okay.
Crazy.
He played your outs. That's what you got to do. You got to find some way back claw back in the game, and Unfair Stamp lets you do that. You don't have Counter Catcher anymore, but Unfair Stamp gives you that draw that lets you play Boss as your supporter.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, off the Unfair Stamp, I had to find Boss and the Psychic. Found them both. Oh yeah, he was like a little tilted.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because I had Fez, but I didn't have any Cloaks to help draw, so like, you know, I had to just rip it, and I did. Yeah.
Let's go. All right.
Yeah.
Well, 2-0. So 3-1-1, 4-1. Hopefully we can keep it up and make it both of us into phase 2.
I am hoping so. At this point, I'm feeling a little bit more confident than I was a couple rounds ago. So.
That's good.
Yep.
Good.
Got the win in round 6. Let's go. Played against the Mega Lopunny Dunsparce deck, and I was thrilled that I had Dusknoir in my deck because the Dusknoir just allowed me to win that matchup, allowed me to reach that one-hit KO threshold that I really need to be able to hit against those Mega Pokemon. So I was really excited about that. Game 1, I was able to blow up a Mega Lopunny and then win the game on the 60 hit point Dunsparce with a boss for game, take the double knockout. The battle cages were definitely annoying. There's a lot of tech in that deck to deal with Dragapult. I mean, there's battle cage, there's mist energy. My opponent had Psyduck in the deck. It's tough. If you don't have a way around those, it's really tough. But the double stadiums, I mean, Risky Ruins are in there so that you can counter those battle cages, just waiting for the right moments to do those. I had an opportunity in game 2 where I could have just board wiped my opponent if my Dusknoir was in deck, but Dusknoir was prized, so I had to kind of figure game 2 out, which was a lot tougher without the Dusknoir, but my opponent actually prized Fan Rotom game 2, so they had a little bit of a tough time setting up. I was able to just kind of get attacking early, put on a lot of pressure, too much pressure for the Wallies to really keep up, and was able to overwhelm my opponent in game 2. So a nice 2-0 win. Dusknoir feeling like a good deck inclusion again. So it's been nice the last couple rounds to be kind of reaffirmed that Dusknoir is pretty broken. Stoked about that. Now with a record of 4-1-1, if I win my next one, I'm guaranteed to make phase 2. That's exciting. Also kind of crazy. I feel like back when I was grinding more, you had to go 6-2-1 to make phase 2, but now they do round 1 of phase 2 on day 1. So, and they call it phase 2 instead of day 2 now, so like there's that whole thing. So you need to score 16 points, 16 match points in order to make phase 2. That means that you can have 5 wins and 1 tie. Right now I've got 4 wins and 1 tie. So I've got back-to-back win-and-ins to phase 2. If I win either of my next 2 rounds, I'll be playing in day 2 tomorrow. Slip boys, turning them in. That's because we got the dub.
Because we won.
Dude, so you're locked for day 2?
I guess I am, yeah.
Wait,
But
no,
I
you're
don't wanna
5-1.
Well, technically I am. But, I mean, I'm going to play out my next 2 rounds, so if I lose my next 2 rounds, then I won't make day 2.
All right, so you're not...
I want 6 wins minimum.
Right, you're not locked for day 2.
No. It's not like I'm going to lose an ID. That's not happening.
No, right.
I want a 6th win.
You got your 5th win.
Yes.
I'll be locked if I get my 5th win because I have a tie.
Yeah.
Yes.
We both need a couple, like 1 or 2 more wins.
One more win and we're in. Yeah, we're both winning ins. If we win either of our next 2, we're in.
If I win my next round, I'm 100% locked. Because then even if I lose my next 2. Feels good.
There he is.
Especially after so many stinker regionals in a row, it feels good to...
Feels good.
But I'm not there yet. So, because my last event, I was 5-2 and I played it out and lost. So.
But that, you know, puts some hair on your chest doing that.
It does.
Yes.
I'm going to keep doing it too.
Yes.
I'm trying to win, bro.
We're not trying to go into day 2, you know, tripping across the finish line.
What you don't want to do is go into phase 2 at 5-2-1 and then play your 9th round, which happens in day 1, and then lose, and then you have to come in the next day at 5-3-1. That's what you don't want to happen.
It's horrible.
No, I would almost rather not even.
I'd rather not play. I'd rather like get me out. I'd rather not play.
You can still cash starting day 2 at 5-3-1, but it just feels terrible.
Oh,
you gotta go like you gotta go undefeated and then you cash. Like.
Okay. I guess. Bro played against Arvaliva, thinks he's had a tough day.
Yeah, I'm 6-1. Nice.
6-1. He's 6-1. There's literally Scooby-Doo over here. Round 7. I lost to Crustle.
See you, dude.
It was rough, okay? Game 1, I'm setting up Dusknoir because I plan on attacking with that thing. And I'm setting it up. You gotta evolve it into play and then like crisp into it. I mean, the opponent can see the Dusknoir coming from a mile away. There's no mistaking what's happening here. And he set up very strong, open Kangaskhan, got double Crustle, double Mist, super fast, and was able to get Hero's Cape on 1. My opponent was able to boss and swing into my Dusknoir with Crustle before I was able to boss and swing into their Crustle with Dusknoir. And that was kind of like the deciding feature of game 1. Not to mention the Crustle had the Hero's Cape already. It just was kind of sucky. And then game 2 was actually very good. Like, it was a really good game. It was super close. And I started off strong, Badoo, item locking while I set up my Dusknoir again. And my opponent didn't open Kangaskhan. They opened Dwebble. So they had to like retreat into Kangaskhan, which means he's gonna be behind on energy attachments. So that was really good for me. And then I got Dusknoir upswinging very fast. My opponent had a 2 energy Crustle on the bench with a growing energy and a Mist on it. And I was able to go Risky Ruins and bench my Monkey Dory, Dark, move the 20 onto my opponent's Crustle with the growing energy, boss, knock it out with Dusknoir. So like that was huge. And I cleared his board of energy and I was feeling really good about that. So he sends up Kangaskhan and Kangaskhan's got 150 damage on it. And he attaches a grass to his bench Crustle and says go. I knock out the Kangaskhan. He comes up with a 3 energy Crustle that doesn't have any Mist energy on it and swings into my Dusknoir. I pop the Dusknoir to deal 130, use Monkey Dory to move more damage counters onto the Crustle and bring up my own Monkey Dory, and I swing for 60 to confuse it. And then my opponent has Bianca in hand to completely heal the Crustle because it only has 30 HP remaining or whatever. And then flips heads to knock out my Monkey Dory. And then he's able to petrol and find the Festival Grounds, which heals his Crustle again. I mean, I certainly learned a lot about how to play the Crustle matchup. I felt like it was as close as it could be really there in game 2. I mean, I think I just win that outright if he flips tails on the confusion flip. So, tough one. But I still have a winning in next round. 4-2-1, not where I want to be, but the deck is like good, right? Like I'm really happy with how the deck's doing and I'm really happy with how I'm playing. I feel like I'm playing well. So, if I can just win this next one, then I'll be in phase 2 and I'll get to compete for more. How you doing?
Hello.
What's up? All right, so we got the dub winning in, Mr. Chip Ritchie. What's up?
You said you got the dub?
I did, winning into,
Phase 2?
phase 2, my first ever phase 2.
Hey, buddy.
Dude.
Me too, man.
Hey, let's go!
Here
What are
we
you
are.
on, Chip? What are you
I'm
on?
playing Hydrapple.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
A lot of fun. A great Pokey Dad deck, I think.
It really is.
Yeah.
It was a top choice for me. Yes, you know what it is.
Yes,
Like,
sir.
you know, with the fatherhood, the neurons don't fire the way they used to. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Where are you playing Dragapult? I saw.
Poltnor, yeah. What was your record going into day 2?
5-2-1.
Same, yeah,
Here
just
we are,
barely getting
yeah.
in there. But hey, we get to play tomorrow.
We do
so.
get to play tomorrow.
There you go. Excellent, dude. Well, congrats again. Nice seeing you. Phase number 2. First time I've ever made a phase 2. I've made plenty of day 2s. I've made plenty of, top 8s, whatever, top 16s, top 32s, but I've never made a phase 2. Since they changed the system from being like, I guess where you play the first round of day 2 on day 1 or whatever, anyways, it's new and interesting. So I've qualified for day 2 already, even though I have one more round to play today. Played against Festival Lead, and my opponent had Psyduck in the deck, prized Rabsca game 1. Pretty easy route when there's no Rabsca there. Those guys are tiny. I mean, like, Dipplin only has 80 hit points. That's just a Monkey Dory and a Phantom Dive. goner. Game 2, my opponent goes Relor Pass, and I'm able to knock it out with a quick Dragapult. That's it. I am 5-2-1. Not the best record, but you know what? We're gonna get to play tomorrow, and if I could just keep this ball rolling, then we could have a pretty good time this weekend. I mean, I'm just stoked to be playing in Phase 2 again. That's pretty cool. I'm in the mix. We're out here doing things. I'm happy that I made Phase 2 with a list that I cooked up myself, right? It's not like I'm just copying somebody else's deck or playing what somebody else told me to play. Playing with the list that I made. First round of Phase 2 just got paired, and I'm up against Nick Robinson. Fun fact, Nick Robinson is the last ever U.S. national champion. He can forever claim to be the reigning U.S. national champion because he won the U.S. national championships in 2016 playing Vespiquen Night March, and the next year was NAIC, and they switched. They stopped doing national championships and they started doing international championships. So I'm up against Nick Robinson, obviously very strong player. Let's see how it goes. Holy shit, I won. I can't believe it. Oh my God. The craziest set of the tournament that I've played by, it's not even close. Absolutely insane. Games 1 and 2 were not good games. He goes, has a light setup versus me, game 1, and I'm without item lock, and I'm able to just pop off board wipe with Dusknoir, Dragapult, real quick, sauce him up, and he just scoops, right? Game 2, I get destroyed because he goes unfair stamp, double hammerheads, clear all the energy off your active Dragapult, knockout, clear both your Dreepy off the bench, you're go, bud. And it's like, okay, so I stunt on him game 1, he stunts on me game 2. Game 3, we're like going back and forth, deciding like, it's just tough, right? Do you go first or second? He chose to go second in game 2, and that went really well for him because he was the one item locking and I was unable to get the item lock established, and he set up this really powerful board. And in game 3, I chose to go second because I was like, you know, yeah, I really want this win. I just want to play the game. I want to get into the game and let some magic happen, right? So I want to play my Lilies. I want to support her. I want to be the one inflicting the item lock. So I'll go second. He gets a pretty good start. A pair of Dreepy, energy attached to the active, pass going first. I get the Lilies. I get, you know, a couple of Dreepy down. I start Duskull, so he's here. And then I find a Badoo. Retreat, Itchy Pollen, you know, all right, we're ready to roll. And he goes, okay, double Dracloak, Lilies, finds the Psychic, decides to go and just knock out my Badoo, where I have like a 0 energy board, right? And he knocks out my Badoo with the Dracloak. So like, obviously he's got 2 energy on a Dracloak, he's got a bench Dracloak, like really not a lot of board. Like I can just win if I go like, Crispin, Rare Candy, Dragapult, Rare Candy, Dusknoir, I win. I mean, like, that's a lot, but I would need all of that. I hit none of that, okay? I hit absolutely nothing. The extent to which I had nothing to do was palpable. I prized my unfair stamp, prized my Pheasantipity, was not drawing crap, nothing. I got 2 Dracloak into play, I attached to the active, and had to pass. I mean, that's it. I'm like, I'm about to lose. I'm about to get farmed. There's a 2 energy guy breathing down my throat. He goes Lily. He sets up his board because he can play items now. Item lock is broken. Hits a crushing hammer on my active and decides to take a tempo turn instead of aggressing because he's like a little light on energy, whiffed an energy attachment. Decides to retreat into Badoo and just item lock me. I'm like, okay, that was actually insane because that gets me back into the game. I Crispin, evolve into Dragapult, and swing, and then he brings up a fresh Dragapult, unfair stamps me to 2, and swings into my Dragapult. The only thing I've got, swings into my Dragapult. At this point, I know I'm far behind, so I decide to like bench 2 Duskull. I'm just like, I'm in it. I'm in the Dusknoir thing. I open Duskull. Duskull is gonna be a part of this game. So I have 2 Duskull in play.
He smacked into my Dragapult for 200, knocked out my Dracloak on the bench, stamped me to 2. Off the stamp, I find Rare Candy, Pokepad. I top deck another Pokepad. So I'm like, okay, I've got Rare Candy Dusknoir. I just have that play. Thankfully, he whiffed the hammer. No, he didn't. He hit a hammer. So my active Dragapult has 200 damage on it, and he hit a hammer. So it's only got 1 energy on it. So I double Pokepad. I Pokepad for Dusknoir. I Pokepad for Dracloak. I evolve my Bedstreepy into Dracloak. I recon Directive. I find Crispin. I play Crispin to attach to my active Dragapult to replenish the energy that got hammered away, and my bench Dracloak. And then I Rare Candy Dusknoir, and I blow up his guy, and take the knockout on his active Dragapult in 1 hit. With the Dusknoir, 130 plus the 200 for Phantom Dive, and I put all 6 on the benched Dracloak, and I say, all right, I hope you don't have win. Because at this point, with blowing up that Dusknoir, all he needs to do, he's got no energy. That's the one thing I have going for me. He's got no energy. I cleared his energy with the Dusknoir. So all he has to do in order to win is go Crispin, game. Because I have a Clops. I have a silly little Duskull on my bench still. He uses Flip the Script. He recons. He has to boss my Dracloak and knock it out with 1 energy. He did not have the Crispin. I would find out that he did have the Crispin, but he had all his energy in his hand, so he couldn't play it. Bosses my Dracloak, monkeys to it, knocks it out. If you're following along here, I have no hand. My hand sucks. Off the prizes, I took Darkness Energy and Unfair Stamp. And that's really important because I need the Darkness Energy to attach to my monkey. So I put the Darkness on my monkey. 200 something damage on my active Dragapult, so plenty of damage to move around. He's got Pheasantipity on the bench. All I have to do is find boss, but I've got no Dracloak in play. I Unfair Stamp, looking for boss's orders. Gotta find boss. There's a Watchtower in play, so Meowth's not an option. 5 cards I find, the first 4, total crap. I'm getting ready to sign the slip. 5th card, Pheasantipity EX. There's still hope. I bench the Pheasantipity EX. I flip the script, and off of Flip the Script, I find my Risky Ruins and Meowth. Risky Ruins into play. Meowth, go find the boss's orders. Boss's orders for game. It would be really sick if I like had the video of that, but hopefully the, hopefully the delivery there, put you in the driver's seat. You can really feel what I felt. Tricky Gym moderator, Connor Devins, really wanted to go to the dueling piano brick house bar, so that's where we're going. I'm not gonna lie, it's a beautiful day, the vibes are strong, I'm stoked. I also used to breed eggs while driving. When I was in college and 20 and had no frontal lobe. How do you? It didn't quite work. Well, I'm just gonna go like this. All right, don't do that. Jesse brought me a Jello shot, bro. So wait, there's alcohol in here? Day 2. Got 4 rounds today. I'm at 6-2-1. Jesse, what's your record?
6-2-1.
We're both at 6-2-1. Pairings just went up as we're walking into the hall. I'm playing against Isaiah Cheville, who's a player that I know, been playing for a long time, and he's actually been chatting in the community lately about Gym Leader Challenge. Been playing in a Gym Leader Challenge league himself, which is really cool. I got to chat with him a little bit about that yesterday. And today, we get to play Standard, round number 10. Neither Jesse or I have a chance to make top 8 today, even if we win out. We could absolutely cash, we could top 16, top 32. If we are on fire, have a great day today. I mean, honestly, I'm just stoked to be in phase 2, so we're just gonna take it round by round and see what the day brings us. Honestly, I'm kind of relieved, just 4 rounds today, because I'm still building my stamina back up as far as being an epic gamer goes. Good morning, Isaiah.
Good morning.
It was a pleasure playing Isaiah. He's a really good guy, and we had a great time. We had a really fun set. It was very back and forth. He wins game 1. Game 1 is like a little weird. I go second, and my hand kind of sucks. It's got Monkey, I've got 1 Dreepy, I've got 1 Pokepad, and I've got Crispin. That's the hand, going second. Against his board, which looks pretty good. He's got Badoo active,
and he's got double Dreepy on the bench. One of the Dreepy has an energy attached to it. I know that the Pulp Mirror can be a little volatile, and in my games against Nick Robinson yesterday, he took this quick knockout on my Badoo, which I wasn't really expecting, and it set me back a little bit. It was actually ended up being a good play, and since I know that Isaiah's probably not playing Rare Candy or anything to punish an aggressive start, and since my hand kind of sucks, right? So I decided to go Crispin to the Monkey, pop the Badoo in the active. I Pokepad for a second Dreepy. I don't even get the Dracloak because I just want 2 Dreepy down, and I just trust my deck, off the top deck, off the prize, I'm gonna find something. And if he unfair stamps me, fine, because my hand sucks, right? So that's kind of the thought process that I'm having. He evolves into Dracloak and does some stuff, doesn't stamp me or anything, sets up his board a little bit, says pass. I top deck Pokepad. I'm like, cool. So I Pokepad for Dracloak, Recon Directive, find Lilies, great. Lilies. The game proceeds from there with both of us setting up. He's able to hit a couple of crucial hammers and ends up just kind of setting in my head in that game. Game 2, the roles are reversed because he starts Monkey, attaches energy, has a little bit of a weak start, a couple of Dreepy, but no searching for Dracloak or anything like that. And then I set up my board, Itchy Pollen. My board is looking really strong. I'm ready to go. And he decides to just punch my Badoo. I proceed to set up. I get Badoo back, Itchy Pollen again to keep him from setting up. He's not able to get Dracloaks into play. Since there's no item lock, I set up my Dusknoir, and he scoops because I have Phantom Dive with Dusknoir, and he's got just a completely undeveloped board. So game 2, I get it. And going into game 3, it is just a good game from both sides. I mean, he sets up good, I set up good. He chooses to go second. He's able to generate a huge advantage by hitting a couple of hammers. He's ahead on energy attachments, and that really just set the stage for game 3. I think in the set, he hit 3 or 4 really crucial hammerheads. I actually don't think he flipped the tails on hammer. Not that that matters, I mean, because that's why you play the hammers in the deck, is to generate that advantage, but the hammers definitely made the difference in that Dragapult mirror. Now I'm 6-3-1, it's not great. I'd like to win out if I can. The Pulp mirror is just, it's tough, right? It's really tough. Oh my God, another Dragapult mirror. This one, another close one. Game 3, came down to turn 3 of time. Game 1, I just get absolutely bodied, as it goes in the Dragapult mirror. It's not just a Dragapult mirror, it's a Dragapult Dusknoir mirror. So I just set up slow game 1. He's able to set up Dusknoirs and really take command of the board, wipe my Dracloaks. Yeah, I mean, it's just lights out. Game 2, I'm the one putting on pressure. I choose to go second. It allows me to set up really well behind item lock. I'm putting on a lot of pressure, but my opponent unfair stamps me after a key knockout and is reestablishing his board, uses Monkey Dory to confuse my Dragapult. That's the best thing you can do when you're on the back foot in the mirror for sure. And he unfair stamps me into a Crispin and a Pokepad, and I am able to Crispin, get some extra energy into play so that I can retreat my confused Dragapult, because I have 3 energy on it. I retreat into Dusclops, use Dusclops to put 50 on his bench Dracloak, and then when I blow it up, it gives me a free switch back into my Dragapult, and then I can Phantom Dive without confusion, knock out his only Dracloak, and then it's just scoop from there, go to game 3. Game 3, my opponent chooses second. It's just really weird. Everybody that I've talked to today is kind of up in the air about whether to choose to go first or second. You can definitely generate an advantage going first, but if you open a bum hand going first, you just kind of lose on the spot. You don't really even get into the game if you open Lily and a Pokepad, right? I mean, you're just not gonna have enough. And when your opponent is item locking you and you're looking for Dracloaks under item lock, it's miserable. It's absolutely miserable. So going second feels like the safest thing, but going first gives you the highest advantage if you draw hot. So he chooses second in game 3, and we're kind of chatting about that back and forth. Game 3, I have a huge advantage as I go first and get triple Buddy Buddy in my opening hand. I can just open and do whatever I want. He also has a good start, Lily's into triple Buddy Buddy. We both have it's funny, right? So like we're setting up, but both of us prize our Badoo, so no one is item locking. I am able to get a Rare Candy Dusknoir off of my first Lily's. I have triple Dracloak. I mean, I'm setting up like a champ, because again, no item lock. Take the first knockout with Dragapult. I'm able to clear his board of Dracloaks. I use Dusknoir. It's awesome. He unfair stamps and is able to reestablish a couple of Dreepy, is going Mind Bend with the Monkey Dory to try and claw back into the game. I have a not great couple of cards off of the unfair stamp. I do have a Recon Directive, so I'm still churning, but ultimately decide that my best play is to just go for it on the flip. I mean, you hate to do that, but I just put this game away. I only have like 3 prizes remaining. I just freaking win if I flip a heads, because he's got a Monkey Dory established. He'll be able to heal 30 off of a bench Dracloak if I don't, right? This is my opportunity. I could take 2 prizes. I will knock out his bench Dracloak, and we'll freaking just win if I flip heads. I flip tails. We're still in the game though. I mean, my opponent's got a long way to go, like 5 prizes remaining, right? So I'm like, okay, let's stay calm. We're like, fine, right? And then I have a play a couple minutes later in the game where I'm confused again, and I'm like, okay, I win if I just flip heads, so I just like got to go for it, right? My opponent's got 4 prizes remaining. It's just the best play. He's really leaning on the Monkey Dories to try and like climb back, to try and claw back in this game. I go for it again. I flip another tails. So at this point, my Dragapult is like nearly dead. I've inflicted 60 damage to myself, and the game is actually like really close, but he's out of Psychic Energy, and I know that. He's got a very small hand. He's had to evolve up his Dracloaks to avoid losing to Phantom Dive, but he's still got a Dusknoir on board now, so his board state is still very scary, but he's down a lot of Psychic Energy because he's been using them on Monkey Dory to confuse my Dragapults to try and come back in the game. Finally, we're in +3 turns. On the final turn, and he takes a knockout, and I top deck Boss's Orders, and I'm able to retreat my confused Dragapults into Blood Moon Ursaluna, boss up my opponent's Pheasantipity, and win the game for the final 2 prizes. It was stressful, but I'm stoked because now I'm positive in the Pult Mirror again. 3-2 against Dragapults. 5 Dragapults I've played so far. I'm feeling rejuvenated. Got the win in round number 12. I played against a Flareon Terrabox deck, but it was a funny one. I won 2-0. My opponent goes first, doesn't open the strongest hand going first. They just have Fez, and they attach a Water Energy and pass. So I'm assuming that they're playing Raging Bolt, right? I set up my whole board and go Itchy Pollen, feeling strong. Got an energy on a benched Dreepy, and my opponent goes Crispin to the Fez and knock out Dreepy with energy. So that is sus, because they could just kind of spawn camp my energy and chase it down. But thankfully, I'm playing 3 Crispin. So the next turn, I evolve up into 2 Dracloak, and I don't attach an energy because I'm like, okay, well, they're just going to like Fez, whichever one I attach the energy to, so there's no point in wasting an energy. I'm just going to, you know, Itchy Pollen again to prevent them from setting up their board. So Itchy, couple Dracloaks on the bench, ready to roll. And then he actually decides to chase down my Duskull instead of knocking out a Dracloak, which I think makes sense because I've got 2 Dracloak in play, but I'm able to Crispin then evolve into Dragapult and take the knockout on Fez. And he had benched a Latias, but didn't have anything else, so scoop that one up. Game 2 is much better for my opponent. He goes first, starts Fan Rotom, sets up beautifully. It's got an entire board filled with Hoot Hoot and an Eevee with a Fire Energy attached to it, and he Ultra Balls for Flareon preemptively. He's ready to go. He's got Noctowls in hand. I have a dead hand with a Dreepy and a Pokepad. I mean, that's it. And I top deck Lily. Wahoo! I get to play. I Lily into like the worst hand I've ever seen, actually. There was like no additional Dreepies or anything. I like
not the worst hand. I mean, I had an Ultra Ball, but it's one of those like really crunchy Ultra Ball hands where you're like, I guess I'm just like Ultra Balling this, like, it's fine, right? Like, no Dracloaks in hand. I've got a Fez, so like I could do a little drawing after he uses Burning Charge, but like it's definitely kind of a, well, I'm starting to think about game 3 a little bit, but we're gonna play a couple more turns and see how this buffs out. Uses Burning Charge, charges 2 energy onto a benched Latias EX with Clefairy on the bench. So clearly signaling that he is going for the one-hit KO on my Dragapult with Latias. I promote my Dreepy with the Fire Energy, top deck Psychic Energy to the active Unfair Stamp. Unfair Stamp, draw into Rare Candy, Dragapult, and Lily, and then I find a couple of Duskulls. I'm able to bench really wide because my opponent put Area 0 into play, and after I found the Rare Candy Dragapult, I could really like flex my bench out. So I'm threatening like double Dusknoir next turn, and I swing into the Flareon for 200 damage. I sprinkle damage counters all over my opponent's board, right? And say, go ahead. All my opponent needs is like a Pokepad or an Ultra Ball, and then he could go get like an Energy and a Switch to knock out my Dragapult with Latias. But his 3 cards are not good. So he just has to Burning Charge again, and then I am able to win. That's it, 3-turn game. I take a 6-prize turn. I have Rare Candy Dusknoir. I blow up the Flareon to take my first 2 prizes, and then my opponent promotes a Hoot. I use Monkey Dory to move 3 damage counters onto the Hoot. I had already put a damage counter on it the turn previous, so it's got 4 damage counters on it. And I use Pokepad to go get Dusclops, blow up the Hoot that's in the active spot with all the damage on it, and I take an additional prize. And then my opponent promotes the other Hoot, which has 1 damage counter on it, which I had sprinkled the turn previous. And I Boss's Orders up Latias EX, which also has 1 damage counter on it, which I had put on the turn previous with Phantom Dive. And I take a 3-prize knockout with Phantom Dive, 200 damage to Latias, 6 damage counters on the bench Hoot, and that's game. 6-prize turn. I won in 3 turns. Last round. I'm 8-3-1. If I win, that'll be 28 match points. We'll see where that puts me if I get there. I'm playing against Jose Marrero. My last round, I've played against him before. He's a really good player, regional champion, multiple-time Worlds competitor. And I know he really likes turbo decks, so he's probably playing Raging Bolt or something like it, if I had to guess. He does like those aggressive decks from everything that I've seen from him in the past. And yeah, see how the cards fall in this final game. I won. I beat Jose. He was playing Ethan's Typhlosion. My God, I really didn't know what to expect. And it's honestly not that easy of a matchup. The Typhlosions are really big. They have 170 hit points. And with Victini and Bengal, they could take easy 1-hit knockouts on Dragapult. Like, ridiculous. Game 1, I just kind of set up fast and take quick knockouts and kind of bully him off the board. But game 2, he sets up really strong. Games 1 and games 2, he didn't prize either of his Ethans. So he's able to ramp to 280 very quickly. Game 2, just is able to take out Meowth for game. So we're on to game 3. I went second in games 1 and 2 because I thought he would be playing like Raging Bolt. He wasn't. So I chose second. That was very much to his advantage in game 1. And then he lost game 1, so he chose first game 2. So game 3, I was like, all right, I finally get to choose to go first. I'm going to be able to, start attacking with Dragapult as fast as maybe turn 2 if I luck into a good start. That was not the case. I had this really kind of crunchy opening with like Dawn. It was a turn 2 Dawn angle going first, right? Like that's the kind of opening it was. I opened Latias, and I'm okay with Latias active because it means that with my slower Dawn start, I can kind of just manually attach to a bench Dreepy, and I don't have to worry about retreating because I could get out of it, right? Turn 1 for him,
amazing. He's able to multiple buddies. He's got Dracloak ready to go, all that. I don't even bother using Badoo because off the Dawn, I have to get a second Dreepy. I only had one Dreepy turn 1 going first. And I have to get a second Dreepy. Thankfully, off the Recon, I'm able to find a Duskull. So I get a Duskull down. So I have Dracloak with an energy, I have Dreepy, and I have Duskull with Latias active, and I say go. Ready to attack on turn 3. Turn 2 for him, he evolves up into 2 Ethan's Quilava, rare candies into a Typhlosion, and is able to retreat Fezandipity, which he started. That's really important. He started Fez, because Fez is in play. And takes a turn 2 knockout on my Latias with Typhlosion. He used Redeemable Ticket, so I know that he prized one of his Ethans, so he didn't search it out the previous turn. Redeemable Ticket, presumably, is putting it on the bottom of the deck. I have a couple of Recons. I have my Dragapult in hand already. I find the other energy I need, and I have to boss up one of the Quilava, use Clops to put 50 damage on the second Quilava, and take double knockouts on Quilava. And I have to just cross my fingers and hope that he's not able to find the 4th Ethans, which he just used Redeemable Ticket, put it on the bottom of his deck. So without Quilava in play, and there was no Cyndaquil either, he prioritized setting up double Dreepy instead of getting the 4th Cyndaquil, and that ended up biting him. That lost him the game because he uses Lily's Determination, goes to 6, has to try and find Ethans plus Ultra Ball or Secret Box to get it in the discard pile. He can't do it. He misses the knockout on my Dragapult, and I'm able to route from there. It was actually a really intense game. I was not expecting it to be that close. I'm like, oh, I got Dusknoir, it's gonna be fine. I spread damage, but Battle Cage ended up putting a lot of work in game 2 for him, and yeah, we got there. So 9-3-1. I'm really excited. That's a good finish for me, honestly. It's one of the best finishes I've had in a couple years since I became a dad. So I'm stoked. Overall, my Dragapult mirrors, I was positive. I was able to beat a lot of the single prize decks that I played against, and a lot of the decks that I thought that maybe I would struggle against as Dragapult, I was able to overcome thanks to Dusknoir. I was really stoked to have Dusknoir in my deck. I think I can, maybe look at the list a little bit, but I was really happy with it. 3 Crispin was amazing. The only thing that I don't like about my list is that I only have 2 Boss's Orders, but it's just really hard to fit. Jesse's laughing at me. You only play 2 Boss? Well, when you got Dusknoir, you only really need 2 Boss. So yeah, 9-3-1. We'll see where that gets me.
50. Thank you, John. 51.
51st place, top 64. You know what? I'll take it. That's a good finish. Stoked about it. I get a booster box or something, booster box prize means a lot more than it used to. Back in the day, booster boxes, if you won one, you go sell it to the vendor for like 55, 60 bucks. That's not the case anymore. I'm gonna put that bad boy up in the closet and let it accrue value. So I told you, one of the things that I've really been thinking about all tournaments, whether to go first or second in the Dragapult mirror, right? And honestly, everybody that I've talked to, it's been kind of up in the air. A lot of my opponents have ended up kind of going with their gut and have been choosing second. And I have also been choosing second in the Dragapult mirror. You know who I just talked to though? Potentially one of the greatest voices in Dragapulting, Justin Neudorf, who got second place at the World Championships, was playing Dragapult, I think Dragapult Dusknoir with hammers in it. And he thinks going second is correct, but that he was choosing first throughout the tournament today. But he thinks coming away from this event, he's like, yeah, going second is definitely correct in the Dragapult mirror.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Perfect order booster box, baby.
Let's go.
I
Let's
suck.
go. They call him Stacks Parker. Let's
That's
go.
right. I'm gonna open these babies. I
Yeah.
bet you they're perfect order. What?
How do you expect them to get Chaos Rising? Do you think they're the people that make the cards or anything? Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't really care. It's like,
Yeah.
neither of them are like you know, crazy sets. So
No. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.